Well then, let's get going for tonight, because I only have a couple hours that I can spend, and as much as I want to just make some forbidden contact lenses here with you all. In fact, here, you all get one. You ready? There's one forbidden contact lens. Oh, that one's being tough. Oh, don't you hate it when that happens? This can wait because I have a couple hours tonight before I am going to go home and put my feet up, because it has been a day, as I said. And let's get right into it. Now, I have not at all played around with Fantasy Grounds. I have little to zero. In fact, I'll play Lord of Bones music. I'm bare bones. Nothing. I have no experience with Fantasy Grounds other than knowing it exists. So what is it? What is it like? Let's play around with it. Is this a virtual tabletop that's right for me? Yes or no? Is it a virtual tabletop that's right for you? I am not sponsored. Fantasy Grounds has not reached out to me. This is not a sponsorship. If I think that this is an unintuitive, overcomplicated pile of garbage, I will say so. I do not owe anyone a good impression. That being said, if this turns out to be a potent toolbox with awesome ability and it makes running things online fun or efficient, I will also praise this. So you will not get any shilling from me. I'm not getting any compensation. I am not getting any internet clout nor praise. I am also not engaging in any sort of VTT war. I've had an account with Roll20 for the longest time because that was it for the longest time. And that's what I've been using. And even then, my interaction on Roll20... Hey, Iron Chef Lord. My interaction with Roll20 is very minimal. I don't know how to use Roll20. When I present on it, on my stream using Roll20, I'm using super basic functions of it. In order to carry the game forward. Now that, in part, is my own fault for not just taking the time to sit down and learn the minutia. But I have a lot of other things I'd rather do than sit down and figure out a bunch of complicated stuff. So, I am coming into this skeptical and jaded. And I sincerely hope that my expectations are blown away. But also, the way that I present is very different than how many others might present. Especially those who are more technical minded. If this requires me to do a bunch of programming and I need to do 3 hours of prep in order to present a 10-minute scene, it ain't doing it for me then. Whereas on Roll20, the bare bones that I get out of it is I know that I can just drag a piece of art onto the grid. I expand it to the size that I want. Maybe I use markers to draw a path through a forest or something. And we move our tokens around there. I keep it simple, just like I do at my real tabletop. You roll out the vinyl mat with the 1-inch grid. You use water-soluble markers on it. You draw what you want. You maybe use miniatures, maybe you don't, and you go from there. That's the very basic that I would need out of Fantasy Grounds. If it can go above and beyond, or if it's not a time sink, or, I mean, it's cool if I can get all sorts of, like, 3D spell effects and all this other stuff. I have approximately 11 billion other things that I would like to do with my time first. Then worry about that stuff. So, we'll see. Good, bad, indifferent? Is this going to Is this going to be a super streamlined, simple VTT that will accommodate my primitive, bare bones, super basic style of presenting online? And can it go even above and beyond if I had the time, interest, ability, programming? I don't know. There's probably DLC for this or whatever, right? Because there is with anything. I'm not saying that to poo-poo on the platform, because they all have it. Only one way to find out. Tutorial guides. This is over on a website. Let's bring this over to our website and find out what this says. From Core RPG, or wait, these basic guides have been written for the basic features of the Core RPG rule set. Current rule sets derived from Core RPG are 3.5, 4, 5, Pathfinder, Numenera, Castles and Crusades, and Call of Cthulhu. Other rule sets offer similar basic features, but may be more limited or missing features, depending on when rule set was created. When you first join a game session as a player using Fantasy Grounds, the first screen you see may be the character selection window. If you are a GM or after selecting a character, you will be on the Fantasy Grounds tabletop. Okay. Yep, so that was that. Maybe we should look at this first, because it already took me into a screen that I don't have up. I just want to start somewhere. I really just want to start. Installing, locating a game, joining a game, using a rule set as a player. Not worried about that right now. Quick start guides. Well, there's a quick start guide that I could watch, but watching this is, I don't know, I feel like that's going to be redundant, and why am I broadcasting this? Install and run. You create an account in Fantasy Grounds. Yep, okay. Most GMDMs have the ultimate version of Fantasy Grounds, which means you can play in their game with just the free demo version. I do have the ultimate version. Launch Fantasy Grounds. If you installed Fantasy Grounds a while ago, then check for the updates box is red. Click it. This will fetch the latest updates for you automatically and restart once you have them. Pardon. Now join a campaign. Something like this will come up. Pardon. Alright, I'm not looking to join a game. I just... Hi, Sword. Good to see you. How you doing? All right. Well, you know what? We're here to FAFO, and I'm very quickly running out of patience for this. So we're going to close this. Well, I wish you well in it, Sword. I'm actually going to be saying goodbye to it. My subscription runs out on the 16th. So I got to finish selling all my stuff. I'm going to button up my mansion, get stuff sold off or given to people, and get things closed because I'm letting my account lapse. So someone else will get that plot in lavender beds, and I hope have a really good time. I didn't end up getting Dawn Trail, and I'm happy with how the game ended. Maybe one day I'll come back to it, but right now there's just other things that I want to do. I hope that you've been enjoying it for what it is. I've heard a lot of mixed things, but I guess what isn't mixed these days. But if you're having fun, I don't know if you're a raider, a crafter, or you just use it to RP around with friends or whatever, I hope it's doing for you what you need it to do. Alright, we're going to close this. Let's create a campaign. Let's go bread and butter. I don't like how small this is. Do I want to allow public and private network access to this app? Get started learning the FG campaign interface using these links. Data from purchased DLC products and Fantasy Grounds is bundled in modules, which can be loaded and unloaded for each campaign. Click next to load data modules. Choose data modules to load for this campaign. Load individually. Okay, so it's fine. DLC I don't have because I just have the core whatever. Okay, well. Okay, and just exit out, that's fine. Okay. Basic. Okay. There we go. We got something. Customize the options for this campaign. Manage anytime via the options button. Okay. I really wish this wasn't as small as this is. Dice, manual entry. Alright, well, a lot of things I really... Well, there's a lot of options. Yeah, Sword... I mean, with how it finished, for any who haven't played, I won't give spoilers. With how it finished, and then with what Dawn Trail wants to do, I care zero about the hook for Dawn Trail, given what happened in Endwalker. And I know it's a tough act to follow, so I'm not raw, you know, I'm a very understanding guy when it comes to that. But man, it is not doing it for me. I was cautiously optimistic to look forward to what was to come ahead, and instead I was baited with nostalgia for Final Fantasy 9 and 11. And I said, if that is the only thing that really was making me consider sticking around, I mean, as much cautious optimism as I had, that's not compelling. And I feel bad because my account, I've been around since 1.0. I've been around since 11, honestly. I think it's just time to put it to bed. Say, you know what, I had fun with it, and before it gets ruined, before I start having a bad time, or I reflect back on my time with 14 with bitterness, or say it was all a waste, I would rather walk away on a high note, say, you know what, for what I experienced, awesome music, compelling fights, a lot of fun times, and I'm happy with what I had. I know that I can go back if I want to, but I really don't feel the need to. Maybe the game needs to enter a maturation of this next iteration, or find a new rhythm or pattern or something, because more of the same isn't gonna do it for me after everything that we had been through from 1.0, but let's just say A Realm Reborn through Endwalker. Alright, so there's a lot of options. I mean, they are going to be what they're going to be. I don't know anything about these, so I'm going to click through this, and I don't know what else. Not worried about that right now. Let's click finish. Alright, so slash roll 2d20. There's an 8, 18, and a 7. Slash roll 1d20 plus 5. Alright, there's a 13, so basic math there. Let's see, does this work like roll 20, where I can just get a... let's just go for some simple... No, I can't just drag this. It's giving me a no sign here. So I can't just drag an image onto the screen. Alright, let's see if I add this as... Alright, so that opens up a link to the VTT store. What if I just want to... I drag it here. Alright, so it opens up a folder here in Fantasy Grounds. Let's move this image into it. This is Fantasy Grounds campaign sample. It's in tokens. It's not. That doesn't open it up there. Alright, I want a bear. Got it, okay. Can I put a bear out here? Can I just drag a bear onto the table? I can't. Alright. Hi, Evil Intent. Also, Famine Siren. Howdy, welcome back to you. How you doing? Heartless Halo Lurkin Loves is also saying good luck, let's go, and don't die. I'm trying not to. It's more a question of patience. As I am... At least I can... Well... Okay, I can make this bigger at least. That's nice. Um, portraits? Images? All? Now if I'm in sample and tokens. Alright, well, there are... Alright, that's not... So there's not some default map or anything that I can drag an item onto. I see dice down here. Okay, so you can just drag and... 1, 2... No. Okay, so I can only do one at a time there. Advantage. Oh, that was a D12. Advantage, drop to 13. +2, -2, +5, -5. Disadvantage on this throw. Automatically put 2 in. Okay, so it dropped an 11. And it kept the 6. Okay. I wish I could scale the user interface. I have a 4K monitor I'm using here, and so everything is very tiny. Is there options? Let's see, options. Setup. It started learning the FG campaign interface using these links. Alright. Okay. Well, at least you get some points back, Sierra. Hi, Bella Muerte. The UI can be scaled, type /scale UI and the number. Invalid value for scale UI /command. Alright, it can go to 200, alright. /scale UI 200. That, oh, that is so much better. Oh my gosh, thank you, Bella Muerte. Let's look stuff up on the side. One moment, everyone. Oh, alright. I'll keep an eye open for it, Bel Muerte. Open Fantasy Grounds, click on Create Campaign if you're creating a new campaign, load campaign if you've already created one. No, so it'd be a new one. And I really don't want to watch a video tutorial while I'm streaming. But I think I'm going to have to if I want this to work at all. Specify details for your campaign. Choose a single rule set. Set a password. Give this to your players. What I'm looking up right now, everyone, is... I'm going through this right now. If you already created a campaign, you can click on load. No, I'm not. I just want to start. I just want to put something out there. Just throw an image out there, put a token on it, or just play around. Oh, all right. I'm yeah, one moment, Bel Muerte. It is done. I thought that I had. Because I have other similar platforms on Follow too, like Arkenforge, and there is Roll20, but that's generally what I had been using. And a member of my community here, suggested that I look into using Fantasy Grounds, and so I wanted to honor that, because I do present games on the channel here. I've presented Alien RPG, Cyberpunk, Call of Cthulhu. I just finished Everyday Heroes, Vampire the Masquerade. I will be running Monster of the Week in October and Power Rangers in December. Hi, Bane. I feel like the important info for that stuff should be inside the VTT, says Evil. Though I don't know how Roll20 and Foundry do it from the GM side. I'm gonna do something here real quick. So as I'm gonna go over. So I primarily use Roll20, right? Now this is what I'm used to. So I'm trying to go into this with an open mind because I've just developed a way that I like presenting things. So I know here I have a scene in Roll20, and that if I want to modify it, you know, I can go to any of these scenes, and all I've done is I've dropped images of the characters that I want to present, and I know that I can come over here and that I can draw a funny blue mustache on this NPC, and that if I want music, I come over to music and I play Superhero by Tabletop Audio. And if I want to drag something, so if I want to add something to here, so instead of being at PAX HQ, and I have everyone here and I'm describing the scene, I can say, all right, we're going over to... Whoop. We are now at Fantasy Grounds HQ, and I drug the art up there. Or I could draw a quick little path through the forest here. So we just add a page. Let's go to it real quick. And then here I am. I can freehand. There's actually a river going through the woods like this. And then I have my trees. There's a real big one right here. And that this is a fallen log over the river. And then I want my players to explore the map, so I'm just going to drag their tokens over here and say, okay, you all are... And this is the Everyday Heroes game that I ran. And so here they are, and they can now just explore the trees, they can cross the log, they can fall into the water, and then I can put monsters up here and go, pew pew, I got you, no you didn't, yes I did. Now, I run my things super stripped down, and I've done this style of presentation for all of the other systems that I've run, Alien RPG and everything, where I'll have a scene, we describe it, we're in that moment, we can reference it, but we're using it to facilitate the story, and we go from there. And it's not that things don't happen, because I've had, well, you can't see the rolls, but the rolls are over here. I guess coming from a very stripped down, I try because I want the emphasis to be on the story that we're telling, and now if I bring this up, and I want something to move. Let's see, can I get my no? And this turns into a no arrow. So it seems like I'm gonna have to do a lot of reading off on the side to get things set up, and then once things are set up, I can hopefully then just open it up and start playing around with it. So what I like and what I generally do is the equivalent online of just rolling out a vinyl map and putting stuff on it. If I want a tower, I'll use a soda can. I might have miniatures for it too, but I think this is going to take a lot more reading behind the scenes, because if I'm just sitting on camera looking frustrated and reading documents, that is not fun or engaging for anyone. And it stymies me because it's my job to entertain or at least inform, and I'm coming from a position of ignorance and I need to learn myself. Yeah, I'll turn it down, Heretic. Thank you. So I think I made a mistake trying to just open up the program and learn from inside the program. Because there are resources, like there's a website for tutorials. But I don't think I should have gone from this is my first time opening up the software to trying to, I guess, like take people on a learning journey. Because it looks like there's a lot of stuff here, and I'm sure it's very comprehensive. See, now seeing something like this, a party sheet, I teach this in my workshops. For when I'm going through different systems. So being able, like, if there's a piece of software that can actually do this and present it in a neat way, this could be very powerful. Hmm. Well, I will say, Bane, that I didn't expect anyone from Fantasy Grounds here. I was about ready to say Fantasy Flight Games (FFG). I've had a lot of experience as an FLGS with them, so I didn't expect anyone from Fantasy Grounds to stop by. So I'm very appreciative. Bell, I hope I'm not coming across as uncivilized or rude or ignorant in any way. Um, as this is very much like I have opened up the software and this is as deep as I've gotten. This is if you want to learn how to swim, you got to jump in the water approach, and that might not be appropriate for the software, especially from a presentation side of things, as there's sort of an unspoken pressure for me to inform and entertain. Um, so I'm not hoping to come across as not being appreciative of you or anyone else from your company. I'm a literal who. I'm a friendly local game store. I also happen to stream. The fact that anyone, because I'll tell you, Bell, stores and even small channels are so often passed up by publishers and manufacturers to be consistently just undermined by them, forgotten by them, um, and whatever. And so the fact that you took time out of your evening to come by a small rando channel who's opening up the software and trying it out, I appreciate that. I am grateful. Um, so please don't think that me looking confused and aggravated is somehow what's the I forget the character's name, but whatever from from Ratatouille, the critical the food critic, and then all of a sudden there's pressure because I'm nobody famous. I'm nobody with clout, and even if I had any, I'm not the type who likes stirring up culture war stuff or, I'm not owned by a brand. I'm not dedicated to it. I've been let down by Roll20 a lot as well. So it's not I have no bias going into any of this either. Um, um, Yeah, before going in, there's a 5e tutorial that can be loaded that helps walk through things. Well, wait, Bane, is it loaded? Is it in the software? Like, as I have this program open on my stream, will it say, oh, there we go, good boy, you want to play, and it's going to take my hand, and I'm gonna be a little baby about it. I'm gonna try and put a bunch of stuff in my mouth, and and it's gonna say, no, no, come on, pay attention. This is what you need to do to set up your game. Is that like, well, I know it's lewd. Will there be hand holding in this or no? Like, can I present it on stream, or am I going to have to do this off stream? I don't mind doing it off stream. Then I just need to get this off the stream so I'm not just sitting here going, ugh, because that can leave a very bad impression for software that seems to be potent. And I know it has your seal of approval, Bane. And so I would be doing it an injustice if I'm just sitting here going, Well, it's not here directly in front of me, and I'm just going to be ignorant about it. All right, so I have homework I have to do off stream. So I am. So then, what I'm going to need to do then is, I will need to find something else to do, because I feel like if I have this open and I'm not doing anything with it, it's just a blank screen, and I have a blank face. I am I am providing a false impression, or that I don't want to come across as giving some passive aggressive critique. If I like something, I like it. If I don't, I don't. And I'm very outspoken about that. I don't need to play coy games or brigade, positively or negatively or anything like that. I don't engage in that stuff. That's destructive, and God, I wish people online learned more shame, and actually practiced it. So I'm not going to do that, or do anything that's shameful of myself, or of something that uh, I wanted to learn how to swim. I jumped in the water. I chose the deep end. It was my hubris and folly. I have flown too close to the sun, and so I am going to pay the price for it. Uh-oh, do we have a we do have a bot. You know what we do here at the Hero Zone? We report bots. That way they can't go on to harass other channels. We're going to hit report. Spam, scams, or bots. Bots. Soliciting chat to buy viewers with this message, :space control V. Submit report. And there we go. So Bell, so as far as a first look goes, I have absolutely bitten off more than I can chew. I wanted to learn how to swim, and I jumped in the deep end, and I'm floundering, and I needed someone to jump in after me and pull me out. And then I have to apparently go to an office and sit down and watch a remedial swimming video before I can go back in the pool. And so that's on, that's on me here. And Bell, I will, as I continue to go through this, I don't think I'm going to continue tonight because I have homework I got to do. I will give a real review. I will be happy to give real feedback. I have seen in this industry, because look, I'm downriver of comic books, I'm downriver of movies, I'm downriver of a tech culture, of a lot of stuff, and I have seen so much destruction, criticism, warranted or not, but criticism without the construction, without the here is something else then. It's okay to not like something. Is there something else that can be built, or that the attention can be shifted to? Just tearing everyone and everything down doesn't lift me up. It just makes it's the bucket of crabs. I don't get to escape it, and I'm surrounded by ruined, dying, stinky crabs. When instead, I don't know, can we build something? Can we have positive things? Can we go on journeys and actually seek to build and construct things that can make people happy? So, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 in the Discord. Oh, well, you're super going out of your way to be here, Bell. You don't, I mean, I appreciate you being here, but this is way past work hours for you. So, I mean, hopefully you're doing this on your own volition, and, this is not a requirement or anything. Though I suppose, and look, I'm not an unintelligent guy, but I'm coming in with other expectations or commentary up above that was reasonable, from evil intent. to have a tutorial that is built in. Roll20 does have a tutorial that's built in. You're there, and it takes you through drawing shapes, filling them in, erasing things. It's holding my hand because I'm a dumb baby who needs to put stuff in my mouth and go goo goo gaga. Welcome, Virtual GM. In Virtual GM, we are talking virtual tabletops tonight, and in particular here, I have Fantasy Grounds loaded up. So thank you for dropping by. What were you doing over in your channel? What was your adventure? Was there a synopsis of something? Were there pearls to clutch? Were there guffaws to be had? What was happening? Were you conducting a workshop or doing some art or mini painting? Were you teaching an important tabletop lesson as a player or as a GM? Chains of Asmodeus level 10 plus campaign. That's when the wheels start to fly off the system. So 10 plus are the fun levels. 10 plus are the fun levels. I salute you for going above and beyond, very literally, as most campaigns end by level 10, and you are either starting there or you've pushed beyond that boundary, and you're going to keep things going. And first session, okay then. Then the seeds for hopefully a month's, if not years, long campaign have been planted. And you all are seeing it happen here at the Virtual GM's virtual tabletop and brought over here. And so thank you. Thank you for choosing to raid into the Hero Zone. And, okay, so Bane was saying that Bell does run... okay, so you are also... you also stream. Well, Bell, then if it's something, either if I can raid into you or if it's something you want to bring your crew over into, I would be honored if you did. I tend to go later, especially in the workshop corner of Twitch here. I tend to go later for the presentations and such, so we do get a lot of awesome groups who stop in. I have met many people from Australia due to the hours that I keep over in our corner as well. Well then, Casrael, are you getting, so similar to Virtual GM, are you getting ready to start a new block of things, or was it just, hey, look, life happens, schedule conflict, the old GM, because, like, look, life shifts and reprioritizes. But you're welcome to talk about your stream here. Do you stream under your name here, Bel Muerte? Do I need to give you a shout out as well, or Command Bane? The current meme going around is that streamers today yell mods the same way that in medieval times kings would shout for guards. Oh my god. As in, ooh, okay. Bel Muerte, this is a, I'm sorry to hear that you lost a friend and a GM there, and I don't know what happened to the second, but, well, I hope that you're able to get your group back together. You are on streams. All right, well then, Bane, if you're here, can you give Bel Muerte a shout out, please? Dave Middleton, the digital DM passed, darn COVID. Well, okay. If this is someone that I if this is someone that I should know for supposedly being in the industry, and I'm sorry I don't. I'm sorry I don't. This is not a commentary on him or anything that he built or presented. Um, okay. In that regard, I've been familiar that Fantasy Grounds exists as an option. Just never why choose this option or one option among many or something along those lines. So he loved his job and his hobby, and that will always show through. There is an honest and earnest presentation that people have if they do have joy in their heart for what they're doing. It is very obvious when things are done for the sake of being a show or because of a paycheck, and things are being done because it is fun. It is just a nice interaction with other human beings, and it just so happens to also be presented online or to have an official blessing, in this case from Fantasy Grounds, things like that. There is a particular authenticity that is very easy to pick up on Twitch and on YouTube from people who are enjoying themselves, as opposed to people who are showing up to do a job or to get a paycheck or whatever, right? Um, so what's the system that you're using, Bell, if I may ask? Plenty of fun ones to try. Uh, and I know many of us have always met through Dungeons and Dragons, and in particular 5e. I do encourage people, for as much as it might seem odd. Well, I mean, you clearly have to sell a lot more Wizards products than not from your store, and that's true. I do enjoy encouraging people to not play D&D, and anything regarding Hasbro or WotC or anything aside, the sentiment, it's unfortunately exacerbated by negative examples as of late. The sentiment still carries out because there are awesome adventures to be had in many other systems. And so I hope you and your group, for what you would like to what you'd like to play or experiment. That's why here, and what I've been presenting on Roll20, and I mean, if I learn Fantasy Grounds and it can do the job, I have Fantasy Grounds that I can use as well. And that's why I've presented what I've presented. Vampire and Alien and Cyberpunk Red and all this. There's a wonderful. You get that feeling of being on the frontier again. It's a wonderful a familiarity because you're role playing and you're with this group, and there might be a fun rapport, but there's that horizon that isn't just a golden, warm, glowing one. It still has challenges ahead, and you get the thrills and the uncertainties of the unknown, of stepping outside of that comfort zone. So whatever it is, I mean, it could be D&D if you want to go and you're playing Savage Worlds, or whatever else it is. I do hope that you will have an absolute blast doing so. You'll get to have some of that fun, which I don't know. It seems all too often no fun has been allowed. Where you're getting just those belly laughs, and your face is turning red, and or you are actually you've paid for your whole seat, but you're only using the edge, and we're just a bunch of people sitting around, playing pretend. But man, in that moment, if that isn't, that's us there. I'm in this moment. What do I do? I'm treating this as if there are consequences, which lends itself then to a lot of other fun and immersive things. So, no, you're very welcome, Bel Muerte. Yeah, it's an excellent Evil Intent. It's an excellent gateway. It's an excellent gateway. It's how most of us have met on this channel and in many other places. I can love D&D and not like the publishers or the owner of the publisher. There could be a distinction between them. Hey, well, Bel Muerte, you just got to meet our prize goblin mascot. She likes teaching people how to paint miniatures. And actually, that's what we were doing on Saturday as well. If we close this up real quick, let's put the up. There we go. We are painting up some shadow beasts, although these were getting a fiery treatment. And just as I teach RPGs on the channel, going through and doing, mini painting 101, very basic tools, very simple. I try and keep it as inexpensive and accessible as possible. And I guess in a sense, the virtual tabletops, you can do amazing things with airbrushes and custom stands and little rotaty bits and $150 like pure sable brushes and all this other stuff. But sometimes you just for Iron Chef Lord who's hanging out, sometimes you just got to paint a barmaid, and we'll have fun in a conversation alongside it. Now, I painted her. I didn't like how the paint job was working, and so I then turned it into a lesson in how to strip your barmaid. So she ended up getting a bath in a cleaner, and we ended up scrubbing her up. And so she is stripped down and ready to prime again. And that's a part of life and lessons in tabletop stuff as well. Yep, and oh yeah, Belle, I had so much fun with a pad of graph paper, and I guess that's why maybe if this is off the cuff, unsolicited feedback for Fantasy Grounds. And Heretic Trance, thank you. That was very generous of you. Can I have... It might exist, and I'm ignorant to it. I will accept that, and I will eat my humble pie. Can I just get a button where I can just roll out a 1-inch grid and draw on it? I don't need a bunch of fancy stuff. I need a piece of graph paper and a pencil, and then we go from there, kind of a thing. Like just boom, there it is. That's what I was looking for. I was hoping something like that might exist, and it might. I am willing to concede that it might. You know more than I do. Bane knows more than I do. I could be 100% in the wrong, and that I didn't look in the right place. But that's where I did get my start, and I find it to be really powerful. I love fancy doodads and spell effects and glowy bits and all kinds of stuff like that. but I also don't have time to program all this stuff in. And ultimately, it's up to me to facilitate the conversation and describe the sensory stuff. So it's, so that it's there. But I can be efficient with my maps. I can keep the focus not on all the little moving parts, but on the story and on the moment, because what is presented is so simple that it's unmistakable. It's easy to interact with. And also, I don't need to learn a bunch of extra stuff on the side when I'm already a busy guy. And I don't mind doing it because I will do my homework, I'll go off stream, I'll watch videos, and I'll read stuff. But what you said, I have sketches and graph books of some of the first dungeons I tried to design. That's and I loved it. And with my in-game Sunday night group, we have a big old vinyl mat from Chessex and a bunch of water-soluble markers, and we have some minis that we throw down, and we go from there. So. Best graphics I've ever had have been in my head, says Bane. I started learning how to play in 2000 when 3rd edition came out. Now my exposure to role playing was AD&D. I had an older relative who had those books, and I would flip through it, and I would see just the simple black and white pictures, but my imagination would run wild as I'm reading these descriptions, as I'm reading through this, because things were very simple, and I enjoyed imagining bringing the simple things to life. And I was able to just pour through it because I made it so personal to me. So I would look at the art and I would read through the old monster books and all this other stuff. And then I had a friend who was willing to teach me, and 3rd edition had just come out. I think I even still have my 3rd edition PHB that has the CD-ROM disc in it, to help you convert your AD&D characters to 3rd edition characters. I think I still have that one. That's when I started playing. And then I became the forever DM around 2006. And then I'd been going from there. And I went through 3rd and 3.5. I've had a years-long world that have had several campaigns play through it, and the consequences of those would roll over into the next campaign. So I played through 4th, I played through 5th. When I started broadcasting in 2018, I got together 4 people I hardly knew in my channel. I'm like, well, let's see how it goes. It's 4 strangers. I don't know, usually this stuff falls apart pretty quickly. Bel Muerte, we had from 4 strangers in a literal Who channel on Twitch in the D&D section, we had a 4-year-long consistent campaign made from a world that I designed and I was teaching as a living example. Not my own personal one. I kept that private to my friends. But from something that we did in my first year of teaching D&D, teaching storytelling, teaching map making and world building and adventure prompts and arcs and everything. The seeds were planted in the workshop. A lot of people said, Matt, why don't you step up and run it? I said, all right, well, I for sure can run a short story. And that short story turned into 4 years of a wonderful experience with people. So I was very fortunate in that regard. And when that ended, I would love to go and do another long-form campaign. But until the opportunity for that happens again, I've been teaching. I've still been teaching D&D, and I've been teaching many other systems. From the approach of there's a book on a shelf in a friendly local game store, because look, I'll be biased and say that people should go to their friendly local game store and buy their books. So we pick up a book, say, all right, what is this? What are the themes to explore? What kinds of stories will this help me tell? And then we dip our toes into the rules. Then we get into the more advanced rules. Then we get into character building. Then we get now that we've talked about all that stuff and we've made characters. We've had these exercises together in the channel. Then that gets capped off in a third week of presentations with, now what is it like to build a story in this system? And that pattern has worked for Cyberpunk Red, Alien RPG, Vampire the Masquerade, Call of Cthulhu, and Everyday Heroes. And then I'm going to do the same for Monster of the Week in October, and in December, Power Rangers RPG. Because there is a rhythm and a pattern to it. And I do want people to try not D&D games, while we always still go back to, you know, we go back to D&D, you know, when the new PHB comes out next month. I'll be going through it. We're going to be doing a lot of character building exercises to explore the options, to put things together, to find out if it works. And then after we've done that, and it's ran its course, and I'm also teaching these other systems interspersed throughout, we just keep on enjoying tabletop hobbies, because that's really the name of the game. So yeah, I saw that G.I. Joe was on there, and it all runs on the same system, the Essence 20, I believe it is, through Renegade. It's Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, and Power Rangers. And so you can mix and match them. You can go on an adventure with a pony and a Joe going up against a Decepticon and I don't know, Rita Repulsa, right? That spawned some memes in another D&D stream I watched as Evil Intent. It's kind of like how you can isekai people from a modern setting, so you have everyday heroes characters, and just put it in a 5e setting, because the mechanics generally work the same. It's just you have these modern characters with, I don't know, military vehicles or weapons or whatever, conveniences, phones, or whatever, that you could isekai back into a fantasy world, or do the opposite and make traditional D&D characters and bring them into a modern world in an everyday heroes setting. So yeah, Pathfinder, and when Starfinder 2nd comes out, yeah, that'll play with Pathfinder too as well.